Welcome back to the second hour of the Velocity of Now, the special edition. If you're listening live here on the Reality Bites radio network, I'm doing 2 hours tonight because it's a pre-recorded show. I'm away and I can't do this one live, so this is just I don't know why I'm doing 2 hours. I just feel like it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the first hour there about my experiences with Roslyn Chapel up there in Scotland, and I'll try to be a bit more laid back and easy going this second hour. I'll just have a general rant or just talk about feelings about things. Try to keep it a bit lighthearted, entertaining, and interesting for the next hour or so. And so, looking at the news this week, the Supreme Court in the United States legalized same-sex marriage in all the states in the United States. And although it's a good thing, and I do welcome it, and I'm delighted for the gay people there. If you want to get married, why, I don't know, but they should be allowed the same equal rights in that sense, if that's their own business. But if you look at some of the people that brought up an interesting point, they said that the Supreme Court basically railroaded the thing through in a kind of a coup. And if you look at how it was done, it does kind of feel that way a little bit. But having said that, sometimes you need to do that because in a country like in the United States of America, where you have so many, Christian fanatics in that Bible Belt there, sometimes. You see, this is why democracy isn't the best system in the world, because democracy is mob rule when you think about it. And if you allowed the United States as a whole to have a say, they'd bring back things like witch burning and they'd ban Islam and everything. And it would because of the yahoos in the Midwest and in the Deep South who are all waiting for Jesus. The ones that are the vast majority of Zionists in this world. And the ones that are the main supporters of what Israel does in Gaza and places like that. And so we can't allow these people to have their majority say. I'm sorry, I know you may be saying, oh, well, we're the majority. But you're wrong. You can't, you're holding your whole country back. And so that's why sometimes it's necessary for a Supreme Court to do this. And good luck to them, and I don't care. The way some people are reacting is hilarious. You would think that because the law was passed, that stormtroopers are going to kick down the doors in American houses, and they're going to force American men to leave their wives and kids and marry a gay man. I mean, this is literally how they're reacting. Like it's almost as if they don't understand that this is a personal choice. It has nothing to do with anything mandatory. It's really bizarre. It's like, open up, open up, open up, open up. This is the gay squad. What? Please don't come and take me away. We're here to make you into a sodomite bride. Yeah, we're gonna take you down to where all those Jews and those queers live in New York, and we're gonna make you a gay bride. Oh, for the love of Jesus, please don't do it. Please don't. Let me have my wife and kids. I don't want to be a gay bride. Put the cuffs on him and taser the bitch. I mean, this is what it's like. This is how they're literally reacting. And it's mental. It's just mental. And of course, one of the great shocks for me when I began to look into that alternative movement, the truth movement, whatever, was to discover, much to my deep sadness, was to discover that even on the ones on this side of the water, in UK and Ireland, they were just basically pushing a form of Bible Belt 1970s Christianity, like traditional neocon Christianity. That's what was behind it all. And all these irrational fears of like gay marriage and this obsession with pedomania, it was straight out of the Bible Belt in the 1970s. And that was a great surprise for me because I thought these people would be actually more open-minded, laid back and easygoing, but they're really not. They're actually more closed-minded than the sheeple that they claim that are awake, because they're blinkering themselves off to all kinds of experiences and they're basing it on some kind of moral parameter. And the moral parameter that they're basing it upon is, redneck, trailer trash, megachurch, Yahoo, Southern Baptist Christianity from America. In the movie Bullets Over Broadway, the Woody Allen film, I can hear them all saying, Woody Allen's a pedophile. No, okay. In the movie Bullets Over Broadway, there's a scene where Rob Reiner is playing an actor. It makes a point that's actually quite true. He says that artists create their own moral universe. And I agree with this. Because if an artist creates a moral parameter for him or her to live her life within, or his life, it's not being forced upon anyone else. It is being presented more as an option. When Robert Mapplethorpe took those photographs of the New York gay scene in the late 70s, with the bullwhips being in the he wasn't saying to people, this is what you should do. When Allen Ginsberg, the beat poet, wrote a poem about his penis and his bumhole, or he wasn't saying this is what you should do, and he wasn't even saying it for shock factor. See, this is an interesting point. It wasn't done for shock factor. If you see the personalities of someone like Allen Ginsberg, he was incredibly laid back and easygoing. Same with James Joyce. But what they were doing was, the purpose of the artist is to be like a terrorist of the prevailing morality. And even if they go too far, that's not a bad thing, because what that does is it causes the rest of society, I can see the truthers going absolutely fucking mental. Listen to this. But this causes the rest of society to examine its own moral parameters and to readjust them as needed, not follow what the artist says or does in their work, but to consider them their own position and place in their own moral universe. For example, you could have an act of blasphemy against Christianity that's done just for shock, and it achieves nothing. A good example of that would be that Piss Christ, where the guy put the statue of the crucifix in a jar of piss back in the 70s. Now, that was definitely done for shock value, and I'll tell you why. There was absolutely no work or no aesthetic of any type of cleverness or artistic quality put into that. It was just a crucifix thrown in a jar of piss and a lid tightened on it. But when someone does produce something that is quite well made and is quite challenging, shall we say, to the moral parameters, such as, now I know this is going to sound surprising to you, but such as The Passion of the Christ by Mel Gibson, who basically made the world's most expensive S&M movie and indirectly showed just how dark and wicked Christianity is below the surface. Although he didn't mean to show it that way, the demons that have been imported from the Middle East that manifest through this Jehovan infection, he showed it there on the screen. And I actually believe that Mel Gibson, whatever he was dabbling in, it was almost like it infected his brain, because it was after that movie came out, he made Apocalypto, and then he started doing all this crazy shit with his ex-wife, and making these amazingly racist comments on the phone and having these mad phone calls. If you haven't heard them, some of them are actually quite funny, but I shouldn't make more fun of the man when he's down, because he has made some great films. But it was almost like him making that film, The Passion of the Christ, made him, infected him, his consciousness or something. But the shock value in that film made people step back and say, oh, I don't want to be part of a Christianity that's like this. It's gruesome and it's gross. And suddenly, or else there are people who are devout Christians, and I'm nothing against them either, ones that don't push their religion in my face, who would have said, well, it really showed the horrific torture this Jesus Christ guy went through. And, he paid a horrible price. But then again, they forget that happened to millions of people in history, not just him. Actually, there's many more people got worse than Jesus Christ. I mean, even ironically, William Wallace, what was done to William Wallace was worse than what was done to Jesus Christ, and nobody worships him. Well, maybe they do in the Scottish Nationalist Party, I don't know. But as I'm pre-recording this, I'm just browsing down my Facebook news feed as an experiment, and basically these are the kind of things that would pop, that I would say to myself in my mind, and I'm saying them out loud. So like if I see a certain story, this is probably what I'd say to myself. And I'm just looking down the list. This is the lovely Carrie Lee. I'm looking down the list, and I'm seeing a lot of why is Pope Francis suddenly a hero all of a sudden? Why is this guy? Because he makes a few platitudes about the environment, and all of a sudden he's lovely, he's wonderful, he's a beautiful human being. But I find it interesting. Oh, tonight, which is the 30th, we have this is another thing that always amazes me. Jupiter and Venus collide. There's clear skies tonight, so I don't know if they have to get out and watch it. But Jupiter and Venus collide, meaning they blink past each other in the sky. And of course, the newspapers have to put the word collide in with quotation marks, and all the hysterics that everyone else goes on. They're going to crash in space. They're going to crash in space. So maybe the flat earthers are probably thinking that. Venus and Jupiter colliding. It sounds like a porn film or something like that. And here's the flat earth fuckers again on my Facebook page. Mad as a box. I've noticed it's dried up in cats lately. It begins. New calls to strip churches of tax-exempt status after same-sex marriage ruling. On Red Ice, I agree with that. I think that churches should be robbed of all their tax. I don't know why anyone's have a problem with churches having their tax-exempt stripped. I totally agree with that. All churches and all religions should pay taxes. That's one of the biggest scams that's ever been invented. That's why these mega churches exist in the United States. That's why these pastors these Bible Belt pastors make millions and millions of dollars and live in absolute luxuries because of these tax-free status. I mean, who in the hell came up with this idea anyway, that churches should have tax-free status? It's mental. That's how all these cults have been able to get real big and everything. I would say abolish that now. Abolish it. You see, if you're a heathen, you're really smart though, because you don't have a church. Your church is the woods. Your church is the fields. Your church is the forest. You see, you don't pay tax on that because you're not like Pastor Bubba in Webfoot Junction, Arkansas. The truth about Britain first. The one-man band with a knack for Facebook by The Guardian. Well, Britain first. I see a lot of truthers share their stupid memes as well, and it's got all these kind of have a go, mate, memes. It's like any man who beats up a woman is not a man, or share this if you think that all paedophiles should be hanged. You know, that typical shit. They're going for the kind of moron kind of reactionary. I've noticed that too. This is true. I automatically distrust any man who puts himself up there as a defender of children other than his own. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a children's rights activist. I'm going to take the pedophiles down. All that stuff. I think those fuckers are creepy. I think they're creepy. I just don't get that shit at all. They're going down. The pedophiles going down. Well, yeah, they're going down, and even the use of language they use, going down. I mean, it's just weird. It's like, unless they're your kids, it's almost like a creepy sort of like macro father figure kind of thing. I'm going to be the nation's the protector of the kids. And that's always been a kind of a scumbag shav kind of thing. Because I've noticed that, like, the biggest scumbags I've known, alcoholics, losers and wife beaters and all this stuff, boy, are they obsessed with children's rights. They're the first ones to be leading a witch hunt against a paedophile in the neighbourhood. and they're usually the biggest dirtbags of all. There was one piece of shit up in Northern Ireland recently that was outing pedophiles on his page and stuff like that, and setting himself up as a hero for every like dirtbag shab in Northern Ireland as this hero. He's fighting for the Town of Ulster, this kind of guy. And it turns out the guy had 96 convictions or something like that, including indecency convictions. And here's the people saying they set him up. Those convictions are false, and they're all legal. They're all in the public record. Anyone can see them. And yet, like, it's again, the ones who are the biggest scumbags are always the ones who set themselves up as children's rights defenders. I've always noticed that all my life. That it's like if anyone does in Dublin, you hear some gobshite going, if anyone does anything to any of these kids, fucking I'll do them. These paedophiles, what? I spend all night thinking about what they do to kids. Oh, it makes me sick. I spend 4 hours every night. I spend 4 hours. Jeez, I gotta give up smoking those 75 cigarettes an hour. I can't afford them on me dole. I'm a working man, and I'm really concerned about the kids and the pedophiles who are after them. You know me out China. I'm gonna sort them all out. These what they do to the kids. I know all about it because I spend 4 hours on the internet every night reading about it. And my friend Nigel over there in Essex, and me and him, we share emails about anal scarring, and I'm here to protect the children, and so is he. Who's gonna stand up for the children if we don't do it? And it turns out you find out that like his own kids are probably taken off him for neglect or something like that. And they're always scum. They're always scum. As soon as I see someone on my Facebook page who's constantly going on about that, I will block them in no time because they're scum. It's the mark of a scumbag. I can't explain it, but it just is. And it's the same in every country. And they're the first ones to actually pull an innocent man out of his house and tie him to a lamppost and put his son, he's a pervert. Yeah. Or in America, go around the house and shoot him because his name's on the sex. And they're obsessed with the sex offenders lists. They want everyone, all the names out there. Even guys who may... Now, okay, this is really going to turn the fucking truthers against me, but I couldn't give a shit. I stand for truth, not for witch hunts. There are people who are not paedophiles who may have committed sex offences on children. Now, let me repeat that again. There are people who are not paedophiles who may have committed sexual offences on children. And let me give you an example, right? I can see there's probably the fire alarms are probably going off at UK column right now. But listen to me, okay? There may be people, and I've heard this firsthand from mental health workers, that were brutally molested by a Catholic priest or a parent or an uncle as a child, right? This person may have, for whatever reason, a psychotic episode as an adult. They may become mentally unwell. And something may cause them to try and, shall we say, quote, cure themselves. And they may do something sexually inappropriate to a young person, not fully knowing what they do. They didn't groom them. They didn't seek them out. They didn't pick them up on the internet. These people were unwell and sick. So they go to a psychiatric clinic or to a mental hospital. They get therapy. And if they find out what's wrong with this poor bastard, and they cure him. He's in deep grief about it, and he never ever again molest another person or young person, right? So what happens is Deco the scumbag, right, finds out the internet warrior finds out that this guy 40 years ago was convicted of, shall we say, interfering with a child, and has never done it since, and has, you know, he's got his life together, and then suddenly he's going, he's a bleeding pedophile, he's a predator, we're going to go down his house, and we're gonna pull a bastard out of his house, because he's a pedophile. This is why we have courts, so we don't have animals like that. And that's why, when I see these types on my Facebook page, with pictures of ropes, hang them all and kill them all, and all this kind of thing, and posting nothing but Hampstead. Oh, that's all died, hasn't it? Where are all you Hampstead? Oh my God, I just remembered that. Where are you, all my dears? Where are you? Remember how psychotic and how visceral and how inflamed you were, and how this was going to bring everything down as you talked about babies being cooked and children don't lie. The children don't lie. Children don't know how to lie. They don't know how to lie. Where are you now, motherfuckers? Where are you now, hysterical fuckwits? You are nowhere, because you came from nowhere and you went nowhere. The case was a joke that was used, like the flat earth thing, to make alternative media look psychotic. Whipped up, and you shared it. All gone quiet now, haven't you? Haven't you? Can't think. You always react. And so when I see anyone like that on my Facebook page, the rest should do the same. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Because if it happened tomorrow that they did every paedophile was caught, found out, and locked up, then they'd start moving on gay men. And the proof of that is so many of them in recent days have been trying to connect gay marriage in America and then to get the legalization of homosexuality and gay marriage in art through the vote with paedophilia. So stay away from them. Don't have them near you. And they're not defenders of children's rights. They're dirtbags. In every case, they're dirtbags. Let the courts and the police take care of it. And yeah, I know that they haven't been arresting the politicians, right? But that's not your job. You're not a policeman. Anyway, looking down the Confederate flag in Georgia ends in the most hilarious. This is the other thing, the Confederate flag. Although what happened in Charlestown was horrible, this whole thing of banning the American flag is a bit weird. It's just a bit strange. Or the Confederate flag. I don't get flags anyway. To me, they're just rags. They're just coloured rags. That's all they are. I don't get this. The sacred flag of the United States of America. Oh glory! I salute it every day. It's bollocks. It's just bollocks. It's a symbol of your enslavement. That's all it is. Not of your freedom. Ah, this flag, they died for this flag. Well, if you die for a flag, you're a fucking moron. If you go get your ball shot off or get killed in a foreign war for a flag, you're a moron. You fight for the people in your life, in your community, and your family. You don't fight for oil companies for a piece of. They died for this flag. No. The flag killed them. That's why when they bring them back from the war and they have the flags on their coffin, the flag is like the wrapper on the McDonald's cheeseburger. It says, well, another stiffy for America Inc., another stiffy for Britain Inc. That's all that means, which really is all the oil companies. So this whole thing, the Confederate flag, is stupid and pointless. Support family farms. They built America. They didn't really, but anyway, immigrants built America, and African slaves they didn't pay for, and Irish slaves you didn't pay for built America. It's the strangest thing looking down your Facebook page, because just because of the people I'm friends with, I mean, it just reminds me of how different it is from society at large. 41% of Americans believe humans and dinosaurs coexisted. Well, if you listen to David Icke fans, it's 100% of them. Because that's what that's all about. That whole David Icke thing of the reptilians is out of Bible Belt Christianity. And the dinosaurs walked the earth with the mankind made by God. The shape-shifting reptilian dinosaurs and reptiles. The same thing. Same bullshit. Same bullshit. So if 41% of America, see, that's another thing to do. Dinosaurs don't make any sense to me. The size of them doesn't make any sense to me. How could Brontosaurus actually walk and not be crushed by its own internal organs? I've never understood that one. And if you look at Tyrannosaurus Rex, it's a really bizarre evolutionary, in terms of evolutionary sense. It makes no sense. It has these little tiny arms. It can't even masturbate at the front, right? It can't even. So it can't. Tyrannosaurus Rex can't pull himself off, but he has this gigantic mouth full of teeth that doesn't seem to be able to be supported by the neck, which is quite small relative to it. And then he stands upright, which is kind of pointless, because what does that achieve unless he's eating birds and trees? And then he can't pull them out of the trees because he has these two little kind of wimpy arms. I mean, I don't understand it. I think the dinosaurs thing, I think a lot of it is bullshit. Not the age of them. I think the age of them, all that stuff is right. But I think the dinosaur bones, I think that they've made up a lot of those things. This is what they look like. And I think that's all guesswork. I mean, yeah, sure, they found complete dinosaurs, but they're usually small ones. A lot of big ones, it's like a bit of a bone here, a bit of a bone there. It's like an artistic representation of what they expect them to look like. I bet dinosaurs look nothing like that. And if they were like Brontosaurus, they'd probably have lived in the sea, like a blue whale. Because no way, that's what kills these whales when they beach themselves on the beaches. Their internal organs are crushed by their body weight. So the only way Brontosaurus could have survived would have been in that position as a sea creature, if he existed at all. I see the Freemen are still active, which is bizarre to me. And John Stewart, he's another one I don't know about. I like a lot of things he says, and he's kind of funny, but he's also extremely conformist. Like, it's always in the parameters of the accepted paradigm, left-right thing. And he seems like he is quite witty and quite intelligent, and he's very good at ad-libbing. I remember him when he was a geeky, sort of no-talent MTV VJ. I'm surprised that he actually got this far. But again, it's all about the system. It's like that whole thing. You only get on mainstream if you say the right. Oh, I want to talk about this gobshite. Cayenne West or Cayenne Pepper, whatever the name of this fucker's name is. This guy singing, and when I say the word singing, I use it with the same impact as Stephen Hawking's running 100 meters at the Olympics, singing Bohemian Rhapsody at Glastonbury. I mean, what the fuck? What the fuck is that about? I mean, first of all, what is he doing at Glastonbury, right? What's he doing there, right? Why is he headlining this festival? And why are the people paying to see him? When I see him and look at him, he looks like a special needs person. I mean, he looks like he's autistic or something. His mouth is kind of hanging open. And that's an interesting one, because I remember that all started like when I was growing up. Rock stars weren't like that. They were rock stars, and then you had David Byrne comes along. People like David Byrne, and he goes, I'm kind of like a genius because I look down and I don't look. I'm kind of autistic, and then it's kind of like this retarded kind of. Well, I shouldn't say retarded. I don't mean to degrade autistic or retarded. I'm talking about these fellas acting it. Somehow entered into rock. You had Beck doing it as well. And then you have the Wimpsaurus, like the horrific Chris Martin from Coldplay. I hate that fucker. I can't stand him. He actually dislike him more than Cayenne Pepper. I really do. He's sitting there, absolute no talent public school boy. But now that's reached into black music. Like when I was growing up, we had black stars and singers like, Jimi Hendrix. We had Marvin Gaye. We had fellas who got up there on stage and gave a show and had opinions and dynamic and powerful. Now we have Cayenne Pepper, who looks and acts like a special needs type, singing, "Mama, I just killed a man. I put a gun against the dead. Mama thinking like that. And then headlining Glastonbury, 'cause everybody in the audience are on SSRIs and fluoridated. And the standards have been lowered." By Simon Cowell. And Louis Walsh. I mean, it's disgraceful. Someone put together a video that shows Cayenne Pepper and intercut with Freddie Mercury doing a live version. It's actually from the concert. I think that was in Vancouver or Montreal or somewhere. I have that on DVD somewhere. And the difference is day and night, but it also tells us how bad music has become. How the people in charge of the music industry, they should be processed into fertilizer. They've just given us everything that's wrong, and not just in black music, in everything. It's all gone to shite. It has. It's absolutely terrible. And Cayenne Pepper, or Cayenne, whatever his name is. I mean, if he can stand on that stage and 100,000 Muppets are actually stupid enough to pay for it, well, he goes, "No man, it's good man." Is he wrong? Is he wrong? And when he says there's no doubt about it, I'm some kind of musical genius, well, maybe he is, to get 125,000 Muppets to actually stand there and accept that. I mean, what I saw there was a guy singing with the jukebox at the pub. That's what that was. That's what that was. A guy at the pub singing into a jukebox on a stage. So we have this is what live events are today. It's that and a guy plugging a USB songs into an Apple computer, a laptop, and go and puts his hands in the air every few minutes, holds the headphone up there and waves his hand a little bit. And you have that, and "Mama, I just killed a man." You have that, and that's what live events are today. That's it. That's what it's been reduced to. I even was watching some of the other bands I liked at Glastonbury, and I thought Motorhead was terrible. And it was just, I mean, Lemmy doesn't look well. He looks very thin. And they were messy and noisy, and it just wasn't the right audience. The audience were just like Muppets. They were just standing there. And maybe Motorhead are better in a kind of an indoor environment, but that didn't even work. It's just the magic has gone out of everything. Have you noticed that? The magic has been ripped completely out of everything. Oh, and this thing in Tunisia. Oh, I did a talk about that the other day, about the college boy on the VON Annex. You look that up on my YouTube channel, Thomas Sheridan Arts. They're always radicalized students. It's like they go to college and they become the biggest morons of all. Whether they had to just drop out in high school and got a trade, they would have ended up normal. But there's coming out now that the hotel staff in Tunisia formed a human shield to stop him from getting and killing more of them. And so you who say that all Muslims are all crazy and all mad and all this, that, and the other, remember that in Tunisia, Muslims formed a human shield to stop this college boy. He's educated. He's an educated college boy with a machine gun from murdering more tourists than the 30 odd that he did, nearly 40 or whatever the number is now. It's horrible. But you remember that the next time you're going on about that they're all extremists and all this kind of thing. I couldn't imagine too many Irish fellas doing that. I know about other countries, but I couldn't imagine too many. There's a good idea. I'm looking at this thing. Chinese government, stop living animals inside a keychain. And it shows 2 living tortoises that live inside a keychain, which is kind of weird. I don't know how they survive in there. Where's the oxygen come from? But that's a good place to put Simon. Those little plastic bags with the two tortoises in it. That's a really good place to put Simon Cowell and Louis Walsh, inside a little plastic bag that just keeps them alive. And that way, we're not actually killing them, but we're keeping them away from the music. From music. I like that idea. Not for tortoises. And then people are saying sign this petition. That's it. Those change.org things are a waste of time. They just make you feel good, like you did something. Those change.org petitions are just data gathering things so they can sell you spam. Looking down here again. When will we take down these monuments to slavery? And that's pretty funny. The pictures of the pyramids of Giza. Actually, there's no proof at all that they were actually built as monuments. They were built by slaves or anywhere. That's just in the Bible. Closest visible conjunction of Venus and Jupiter. Everyone's excited about that. Yeah, everyone's real excited about that. No more lies. Jobs are not sent overseas because America doesn't have enough skilled workers. Jobs are sent overseas so corporations, banks, and stockholders can make huge profits off the backs of non-unionized, uninsured, desperate people living in the third world poverty. You see this TPP thing, or it's called in America, the new NAFTA thing, and they're acting like it's a great big shock. Jobs are not sent out just only out of America. Jobs have been sent out of Ireland. In fact, I read somewhere that there's something like 500,000 Americans working for Irish companies in the US. So it happens all around for different reasons. It's disgusting, it's despicable, but there's nothing you can do about it. No, you're not going to be. No politician you're ever going to vote for, or no change.org thing that you're ever going to sign is ever going to get you to keep those jobs in America, or keep those jobs in the United States. Nothing. Not even the nicotine star child. Like, the nicotine star child could be easily sent overseas away from me. I could stop channeling. Imagine that, like how I would feel if the nicotine star child was taken from me and transferred to a Chinaman. Would it be the same? Of course it wouldn't be the same. But if he decides to do that because I'm too expensive, he'll go. We'll have long duck dong. The nicotine tottle. You down, nicotine tottle. I am the long duck dong. I am the channel of the nicotine tottle. As that will happen. That will go to India. Hello, I am Sanjay Kapoor, and I am the channel for the nicotine star child. Yeah. Ling, ling, ling. Namaste. It could happen. And what would I be then? What would a man be without his nicotine star child to channel? I'd be nothing. But I have to accept that it might happen. It might happen that a nicotine star child is sent overseas to Poland or the Czech Republic, anywhere, because he's only with me, not because he only lets me channel him, not because he loves me, but because I'm cheap. Yeah, it's because I'm cheap. That's the reason why the nicotine star child is here. I know that. I don't get up every morning and say, Thomas, you're amazing. You're just amazing because of all the people on this earth that the nicotine star child picked to be channeled. He picked you. He picked you because you're the best. No. He picked me because I'm cheap. He picked me because I don't expect a big salary. And that's why in a rich country, he wouldn't be there. So the nicotine star child will never be channeled by a Norwegian who would expect a high salary, or a German. Currently, he's in Ireland. He's like Google, and he's like Microsoft. He set up the European headquarters in Ireland. Well, this nicotine star child has set up his world headquarters in me. And the day will come when I'll be called downstairs, be channeled. Yeah, I want it back here. And he'll be saying to me, well, we have this issue, Thomas. It's you're too fucking expensive, and this is a different age, and well, we're moving the nicotine star child operation overseas. And I'd be going, oh, but all the years, all the channeling I gave to you, everything I did for you, and you're moving overseas. And they'll just go, but it's just business. It's just business. Don't take it personally. And I'll be going, who is it? Who did you leave me for? And they'll be going, well, we left you for a Pakistani guy. A Pakistani guy. Yes. And there'll be nothing I can do about it. And they'll say, he works very hard. He's a nice fella. He shows up on time. And I'll be going, well, I do all those things too. And they'll be going, yeah, I know, but he's cheaper than you. And, you know, channeling is money. And you're too expensive. And that would me out of the game. And I have to accept that day will come. So anyone listening to this in the third world who's envious of me being able to channel the nicotine star child, the day may well come when he'll ask you to channel him instead. And then how will I feel? And that's what, like, a job going overseas is the same thing. I'll just have to live with that. And I could see it now. I'll be standing out there, a glum look on my face, and the 6 o'clock Irish news comes on, and it goes, and tonight the news has come in that a job has been lost in County Sligo. The nicotine star child is transferring his operations to a mystic in Pakistan. Our reporter George Lee is on the ground talking to the disgruntled employee who's just been told that he's being made redundant. And there will be me standing outside the factory, the nicotine star child factory, and I'll be sitting there going, shuffling my feet and talking to, there was another employee talking to them, and then the cameraman are going, and the job is lost, it went overseas, and then I'll switch to a local politician, scurvy McFlynn, and he'll be going, I will do everything in my power to see that we get a replacement deity for this man to channel. And he won't come, and I'll be unemployed and redundant. And once that job is gone for good, it's gone forever. And then there'll be no one to take my place, and a skill will be lost. And the nicotine star child will just have a footnote in their annual general report saying we transferred operations from Ireland over to Pakistan to cut costs. And that's it. There's nothing I can do about it. And that's just a fact of life. And then I'll have more time to, I don't know, wallpaper and things like that. No, yeah, they'll come around saying, a man has been devastated by a job moving, a documentary about me, and one of these magazine programs. And they'll be sitting there going, oh, what am I going to do? My life's over. All I've ever known was how to channel the nicotine star child. I can't do anything else. I can't. What about jobs retraining and skills retraining? But there's no. I only know how to be a channel to the nicotine star child. I don't know how to be anything else. Oh Jesus! I get my redundancy pay. You get your redundancy pay, he'll be all right. But I don't want a clock. You see, when the factory closes down when the nicotine star child factory channeling factory closed down last time, and they closed the doors behind me and locked the gates, those jobs will never come back, and you'll have Bruce Springsteen singing songs about it. They're closing down the channeling the nicotine star child. There's no more jobs for channels around here no more. It's terribly romantic when you look at it that way. So that would get me through it. So I could develop a romantic mystique about it. I could write songs about, the closing down the nicotine star child channeling operation. And that romanticizes, that makes me feel better about it. But the job doesn't, and it's over in Pakistan. And then it'll go from somewhere in Pakistan to somewhere else eventually. See, a nicotine star child is a ruthless businessman, or whatever he is. And that's just how it is. And so those of you who are going on about all these jobs leaving America, let me tell you something. I could easily be in the same boat. And I'm going to deal with it in my own way. I will romanticize it by writing folk songs about it. Bruce Springsteen type anthems about it. And that makes me better than you. Because all you do about it is you send in change. Do you think that the nicotine star child would respond to a change.org? A change.org petition? In Ireland. You think that would work? That would sway him? Not going to happen. It's business, and I have to accept it. And that's how it is if your job is being sent overseas. If you want a job that doesn't get sent overseas, become a prostitute or a drug dealer. Everything else can be sent overseas. It's just how it is. When you entered into the employment working marketplace and you work for a company, you signed your soul away. That's just, I know it sounds a bit cold, but that's how it is. And if you're so many years in the workplace and you haven't figured out that you're a slave, it's a load of bollocks, that your bosses are all bastards, that the purpose of the human resources department, after they put you through that trauma-based humiliation of seeing, are you part of our winning team? And you got done to your 3 interviews. And when I was growing up, you went to 1 interview. Now you have to go to 3. I've done that myself, the 3 interview things. So it's fucking bizarre. But anyway, to weed you down to see if you're fit to be a slave among the rest of them. And then when you get in there and you're working there for a few months and you're fucking sick of it. I'd like to have. Alright, who is it? Is this human resources? Yes. I'd like to have it. I don't get to talk with you. I'm not happy about my working conditions. Oh, really? Come in. What is it you're not happy about? Yeah, well, the machine I'm working on isn't safe. It's dangerous, you know. And there's something really weird happening. What's that? Well, I'm a human being, and I'm spending 35 hours a week in this fucking dump. And she goes back to the management and she goes, Larry in assembly, he's not happy. When will we fire him and bring in someone to take his job? And that's what human resources is full of psychopaths. Psychopath chicks who pretend to be your friend, and all they are spies for management. That's all those people are. Absolute fucking spies. And this is what it is when it's like joining the army. It's like these Americans who joined the army and go, oh my god, they fire bullets at you. You know, you actually see that thing. Like, I joined the U.S. military and they were shooting back. That's the same thing with the jobs. You look, you know it's bollocks. It's slavery. So the only way to deal with it is to sit in there for your 30 hours a week and know what it really is. You're in an abusive relationship with money. And you're having to abuse yourself, as we all have, in order to get that money. But that's what that's all about. And so if the company does something to you, you can't really complain about it any more than if you're joining the military and go to a combat zone and something happens, you can't really complain about it. And then you get these, I'm a company man. I'm a company man. And that's what I am for the nicotine shot. I'm a company man. But that's bollocks. What, you're devoting yourself to shareholders who don't know you exist and would take your job away in a second. Management who couldn't give a shit if you're dead or alive. But you're a company man. I'm here for the company. I mean, loyalty is something you only extend to the closest people in your life. And this idea of loyalty being extended to a country, you must be loyal to your flag, is bullshit. You must be loyal to your religion. Fuck off. You must be loyal to your community. Well, not if they're full of muppets and shitheads. I'm not. You got to be loyal to your job, loyal to your employer. What? I'm here to get money. I commute, sit at that desk, or work at that machine, or wherever it's required of me to get your money. That's what the interview process should be really like. You sit down for an interview, and they say to you, "What are you here for, Thomas?" "I want some of your fucking money." And then they go, "Well, thank you for being honest, and you got the job. And what are you going to do to get this money? Just fucking tell me what to do. Give me the fucking money and leave me alone." That's it. That's what a job interview should be. None of this bollocks of being are you part of a winning team? Are you ready to meet the challenges in Tupperware selling? If so, and you're a motivated individual, we're recruiting in your area. Call up for this and you go, "Hello, yeah, I want to apply for the Tupperware team job. We'll come down on Tuesday morning at 3 o'clock. You go in on Tuesday morning, and there's a few people there, and you have your little CV typed out with your life history on. That means nothing because your previous jobs. Oh, it says here that you were a rent boy. You were a rent boy for 4 years between 1998 and 2002. You were a rent boy. Yeah, I used to suck cocks in bus and train station men's toilets. And what makes you believe that our company would want you? Because working for you or any corporation is the exact same fucking thing. I'm still a prostitute. However, when I was sucking cocks for loose change in bus and train station toilets, I was my own employer. I could choose and go to work when I felt like it. It's even a lower, degrading and demeaning life to spend my time working for you. Well, you got the job for being honest. There's so much bullshit in this world, it's frightening. So this whole thing of Mike, we can't allow this new trade deal to go through because American jobs can go overseas. Fuck it, let them go. Let them go. Let the fucking jobs go. Let the manacles of the slave driver go. Don't determine your life, your happiness, or your worth as a human being based on you being a slave wage earner. Let them go. Because all this bullshit gives these politicians love it. We gotta stop the jobs from being sent overseas. And the politicians go, "I'm going to do everything in my power to stop these jobs from being sent to Pakistan." And there's nothing that politician can do to do that. But you being all fearful of losing your jobs and jobs going overseas is what gives these bastards power. The last thing they would want us you to say is, the company is closing down this week, for people to turn around and say, "Good, I can't have to do these fuckers ever again." Good. The company is closing down. Great. I can't wait. And in countries like Ireland where you get the dole, you don't have to worry about being homeless or anything, unless you've been really stupid and built yourself a palace which you couldn't afford. Then I have very little fucking sympathy for you. But it's like, you lose your job and you're sitting there and you're going, "I lost my job." Oh. What about, "I'm fucking free"? You see, the problem is that these people go unemployed. "I'm going to have to sit at home all day now watching Wheel of Fortune, watching soap operas, watching antique shows." No, you don't. You get out there and you do things. You explore and you enjoy life if you've been laid off. And this fear of unemployment, also perpetuated by people like Bruce Springsteen, they're closing down the textile mill and all this stuff. It just enforces this idea that humans are nothing more than farm animals for corporations. So if the corporation is transferring its job overseas, you say, "Adios, motherfuckers. I don't care. And if that started happening, you would see politicians shitting bricks. And then, for the first time in their history, they would actually start creating jobs because they would be terrified that people didn't give a shit about the corporations. And corporations would lose their power as well. Because remember, this loyalty, I'm a company man. That's what keeps people in corporations. My brand, this is my brand. This is my favorite brand of toothpaste. Because my dad worked for them. You get that in Ireland here, that Guinness bullshit. This loyalty to Guinness, bollocks. Big British corporation. So yeah, that's it. So if the nicotine star child goes to Pakistan, I'll have to live with it. If your job goes to China, you have to do it. There is nothing you can do about it. And you putting all your, I remember the first hour of the show I was talking about energies and Rosalind Castle sucking up the energy. Well, they want you to focus all your, we're going to lose all our jobs, they're going to go overseas. Let them go. Let them go. I don't care. You shouldn't care either. Because the day you say, get lost, I don't care, is the day you stop being a wage slave. Okay, that's the second hour up. I hope you enjoyed the 2 hours tonight. It was a bit ranty at the end there, but hey, that's what you signed up for when you started listening to this. You knew what I was like when you started tuning in. My website is thomassheridanarts.com. If you want to help me out, and God knows I need helping out financially and in other ways, you can buy a book there. I don't take donations. I work for a living. I don't, and I produce. I don't beg. And that's thomassheridanarts.com. Click the bookshop. Even if you have no money, like most of us, just you can share the articles, watch the videos right through, and share them around. It helps me. I get a little bit of revenue off that, and anything you can do to help me is great. Look after yourself and enjoy your life. This is very important. And don't. When we talk earlier on the shows about the moral parameters, develop your own parameters in life. Don't let anyone inflict their morality upon you. You choose your own morality once it doesn't hurt another human being. And don't let anyone put their wage slave conditions upon you. You know that when you go into that job on a Monday morning, you're there to get those bitches money and nothing else, and you owe them nothing. So when they go overseas, don't talk about I was loyal to them. In your heart, you hated their guts, smiled, and took their money. That's the end of it. And so if they do lay you off or go overseas, it's like, adios, bitch. This arrangement is up. I don't give a shit about you either. Thank you. Good night. Thanks for listening. And fuck them if they can't take a joke.